What's up guys, Hanish here, and today we have some Destiny 2 new stuff to talk about. So of course, Warmind, the next expansion for Destiny 2, has now been revealed. There's quite a lot of interesting stuff to break down in this video. We're going to talk about the new activities, we've got a look at the Prologue trailer for the expansion, we've got a slew of new weapons, armor, and exotics that we can take a look at. We learn more about Crucible ranks and some of the rewards that we're actually going to get for that, some of which look pretty cool, and some other exotic and PvP stuff, so let's jump straight into it. So first, Bungie of course showed the new area on Mars, which is actually a frozen ice cap of Mars. They did confirm that Anna Bray will feature in the expansion and will be one of the kind of main quest givers that you work with during the campaign side of things, and presumably in some of the end game as well. And so at this point in the video, I wanted to run the new Prologue trailer. Of course, there are some spoilers here, so if you don't want to see it, skip ahead a couple of minutes. But here is the Prologue for Warmind.
Guardians aren't supposed to investigate their past. That's the rule. But I'm not good with rules. Not when there's this much at stake. The Clovis Bray tech in that building allowed us to colonize the system during the Golden Age. They, sought to create peace for all humanity. Which is ironic, because they also built Rasputin, the single most powerful weapon in the solar system. Either way, it's all been entombed on Mars since the collapse, along with something far more terrifying.
So pretty cool stuff. I actually think the prologue was really neat. Of course, we'll have to see what the actual campaign is like, but for activities and loot. So on Mars, there is a new kind of patrol area. We didn't get to see too much of it. It doesn't look like it's absolutely huge or anything like that, but there is of course the new Hive escalation event. Now this does operate kind of like a public event in the area, and it'll consist of multiple waves. It's actually possible to get rewards on different waves. So at wave 3 and wave 5, you basically spawn public event chests, but there will also be a weekly rotation of bosses. So when you hit the top wave, I suppose, you will get a different boss each week, and these will have unique weapons and pieces of gear attached to them. So we can see some of the armor throughout the kind of Bungie reveal. We also see some of the weapons. We see a pretty cool looking shotgun as well as an SMG, and these are themed kind of Warmind weapons. But on top of this, we also see the return of the old kind of Crota sword relics that we had in D1. These will be present in these events. And on top of this, there is a new relic weapon, which is actually called the Valkyrie. And in order to get this, you will have to pick up armory codes, which you get while you're completing the event, and then you can spend them to actually generate this weapon and use it. It is kind of on a timer or something like that, so you do have to kind of use it tactically, but it's certainly going to be pretty interesting. Bungie said some of it's going to be pretty challenging as well. And on top of this, really, I hope that they have a rigid loot system and a good reason to continue playing this. Some of the images that you're seeing here are actually from the Activision press kit for this release. Moving on though, we are going to be getting some new and returning exotics inside of this DLC. And so this also comes from the press kit. We have the Apotheosis Veil for the Warlock. The Armamentarium for the Titan is going to return. There is a new exotic right here called the Ashen Wake. We don't actually get a look at the perks for this just yet, but this is a Titan exotic. Presumably it will be for the Sunbreaker, because we do see Sunbreaker there in the flavor text. We also have the Claws of AHAMKARA for the Warlock right here. The Eternal Warrior for the Titan. Then for the Hunter, we have the Ophidia Spathe, which is pretty interesting looking exotic right there. But then we have the Sanguine Sanguine Alchemy, which is a new Warlock chest piece. Again, we can only really guess as to what the bonuses are going to be. We have the sealed AHAMKARA grasps returning for the hunter. And then we see SUROS regime right here with a new skin. So this is presumably the base skin because we don't actually see an ornament on the weapon. And the HUCKLEBERRY submachine gun, which is a really cool looking weapon. This is actually a Tex Mechanica SMG. There is the OCULUS Zol. And this is a pretty scary looking Warlock helmet. The WORMGOD Caress gauntlets right here, which are very interesting as well. The Worm Husk crown for the hunter. Very cool looking exotic. So it's safe to say there are some pretty awesome new exotics coming in this update. But something else to point out that was actually seen in the stream itself was a secret kind of hidden underneath of a bridge. It's not entirely clear whether this will just be a scannable item or perhaps this could be a new collectible in the game. We have heard about secrets actually being more prominent in future expansions. But moving on in the stream, they spoke about new Crucible ranks coming in the DLC. Of course, we've heard about Valor, so you progress when you win or complete matches. There isn't a penalty for losing. And then for Glory, you gain if you win, but you lose points if you actually lose. Valor will work in quick play and Glory will work in the competitive playlist. In addition, there will be win streak bonuses, so you will actually get bonuses if you continue to win over and over again. And there is the ability to prestige or reset your ranks, which will earn you new emblems and things like that. But there are more serious rewards as well. So we see the Redrix's Claymore, and this is a pretty interesting looking pulse rifle. It comes with Outlaw, but it also has a perk called Desperado, which increases the rate of fire after a headshot reload with Outlaw, but you don't actually lose any damage when this happens. So you fire the weapon quicker, but it does the same damage, and it certainly looks pretty lethal. This will be a featured reward weapon if you attain a certain rank inside of Glory in a particular season. So they will have different rotating weapons for this ranking system, which is definitely very positive to hear about. So those are kind of the main things that they broke down. We saw the Hive Escalation Protocol event. There is a unique loot table. Once again, I've got some images of some of the gear you can get from this on the screen right now. And this will take place inside of the patrol zone on Mars. You do actually need to complete the campaign in order to start accessing this mode. We've got a whole bunch of exotic gear, which I just showed you guys, which looks pretty awesome. And then we have the Crucible side of things with the ranking system. There will be new rewards for that. And on top of this, there will be other things we don't know about entirely just yet. Things like public events in the patrol space. There will, of course, be the campaign. There are different Crucible maps. You've seen one of them in the background, this kind of icy map on Mars, which is pretty cool. And then we have things like strikes, and there is, of course, the new raid lair inside of this DLC, which Bungie haven't teased us about just yet. So overall, there is a lot of stuff there. Of course, we've got to get in and see how it plays out, but it certainly seems like they're providing a bit more content this time around than what we had with Curse, you know, a fleshed out loot table for the new event type activity on Mars. Quite a few more exotics from what I'm seeing, and of course this isn't necessarily all of the exotic weapons. So you have that improvement to the PvE endgame, you've certainly got improvements to the Crucible endgame, and while it doesn't fix all of Destiny's problems, you know, they still need to work on some sandbox stuff. I think it's looking like it's going to be promising, but really in order to critique this properly, we've all got to play it. So anyway guys, that is going to sum up what I'm going to round up inside of this video. There is even more stuff to talk about. I will keep you guys posted on everything that I can. I'm going to let some screenshots of some of the stuff inside of this DLC, some areas, some gear and things like that run out for the end of this video, so check these out if you want to. But if you have enjoyed this video, a like is very much appreciated below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe to see more D2 content. Feel free to check out my Patreon page. We have a pretty awesome Discord, and there are some Patreon exclusive rewards if you want to show your support and things like that. The link for that will be in the description below. For now though, I hope you guys have an awesome day.